Right, let's do it.
The reason you're laughing is because of the outtake.
Yeah.
You're never going to see that, so don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's just...
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Okay, I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Chris Hook from Intel. If I'm laughing a lot, it's his fault, just for your FYI. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Chris Hook. I'm the head of marketing for graphics and visual technologies at Intel, and we both had a really late night at the Odyssey event, which is why we're all a little giddy this morning.
Just a little bit giddy, just kind of out of it.
Yes.
But it was an amazing event, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't. This was our first, big community event for Intel graphics. So we didn't quite know what to expect. I was telling people, I said, I think 1,000 people are going to show up, and nobody quite believed me. So it was, and I wasn't quite sure myself because we'd never done this before. But it was a lot of fun. I think that, the reason we did this big event was that we really wanted our community to get to know us, and really to get to know each other, right? Because that's how communities are built. And one of the best things is we brought our I guess a huge cross section of our graphics engineering team.
Yeah.
So really, this was a chance for people to really come hang out with us. All our communities. So our enthusiast community, our tech community, our Twitter community, our ISV community, our OEM community. Really to come out and meet us, but really have kind of very informal conversations with the people building our drivers and our software and our hardware. And I think that was what was so cool about it. So I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I think a lot of people did, and I can't wait till the next one. We'll refine and move on and do the next one, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, everyone was extremely passionate there, and I felt I learned a lot just being there. And I don't just mean from Intel guys, but just the community itself. It was amazing feedback, and I think that's been the same thing for the whole of GDC. It's been an amazing GDC. Yeah, well,
it's been an amazing GDC, and just being new to Intel myself, it's just amazing seeing the scale of Intel's footprint at GDC, right? I mean, the booth, the lightning talks, all of the sponsored developer sessions. There's the University Games Showcase. We sent a pretty good contingent over to the Game Awards. Then there's the Odyssey event, and we had a big press conference, and just the scale of it's really, really cool, right? Just in terms of how Intel engages at GDC. Roger Chandler, my colleague, does an amazing job putting it all on, and we're always just amazed at everything that he does here.
It was the who's who of Intel was there. Raja Kodori. You had, actually everyone, Jim Keller.
And Bob, our CEO, was up there. That was one of his, first really, really public events since becoming CEO.
It was amazingly fun as well.
So it was a lot of fun, yeah. And I think that was sort of the thing that, what's the model, right? There are a lot of people who said, oh, your keynote was really good last night. We're like, it wasn't really a keynote.
No, that was not a keynote.
The thing is, it's new, right? It's sort of, the question that we had a lot of fun with was, well, what happens at a community event? Well, you definitely want to, have a few drinks and have some good food and have some good giveaways and facilitate, good conversations. But the thing that we had a lot of fun with was, well, what happens on the stage, right? Because it's not a press conference. So, and it's not a keynote. So it was really just this exercise of, okay, everybody get up on the stage and kind of be yourself. And we didn't quite know what that was going to look like.
Yeah, when the t-shirts started to get shot, that was when it probably...
Yeah,
I genuinely thought something was going to get broken for a second, to be honest, with you. I was like, oh,
we were incredibly lucky. Early on, Raja was testing out the gun, and he had to press it 4 times. And then the t-shirt would shoot. And he pulled it 4 times. And then somebody distracted him with something, and then he pulled it another 4 times. And I'm just like, oh no, everybody get down, But it was this is during rehearsal. But it was this is the kind of thing that I think that lightens the mood. So when the presenters get on stage, everyone can have fun. Cristiano, of course, is he's 21 years old. He's from Brazil. He designed some very cool shroud concepts. I wasn't quite sure how he was going to react to being on stage in front of 1,000 people, because I think he told us he was really concerned. He'd never spoken to more than 50 people before, and suddenly he's in front of 1,000 people and our CEO. But anyway, it was really interesting seeing the interaction. I think he and Ari just got up there and had fun, and that came through, so it was great. It was fun to see.
So now that Intel are starting to take graphics seriously, but what was it that made you think, hey, we need to really push towards gaming, HPC and other markets, and GPUs are the way to do it? What was the tipping point?
Well, I think there's a few things. By the way, I wasn't at Intel during the tipping point, but I mean, there's a few observations I would make. I think one is, like you said, we have 2/3 of the PC graphics market today. We have a very talented graphics engineering team. And I think up until now, it's sort of been engineering for graphics for largely for form factor. So I think there was an opportunity really to you hear Raja sometimes talk about the push to build bigger, more immersive worlds, and looking across Intel's portfolio, you heard us talk about the 6 pillars of innovation, and Intel's got an incredible IP portfolio, and really there's never been a portfolio like this put against the problem of graphics, right? And it's not just traditional graphics processors, but really a wide range of scalar, vector, matrix, and spatial architectures that you can use to solve a visual computing problem, right? So I think for that reason, it was really exciting to have this catalyst of talent like Raja and Jim, plus an incredible portfolio of IP, and what would that bring to better visual computing and solving some of those holy grail problems of visual computing. But also, on the data center side, we've got this incredibly robust data center portfolio. Then, how could then graphics, help round that out and add some extra depth and breadth to it. So I think that those are the big things. I think from the enthusiast community's perspective, they want choice in the market. They want more choice. They want more options. They want more innovation and having another player in it. After 25 years since the last player entered the market, I think it's exciting.
How would you say that so far the community has responded to Intel getting involved?
I think they're it's interesting. So we call it the Odyssey, right? Because there's always an interesting, new, exciting chapter to it. And I think the community's been very engaged. They want the choice. They want the choice in the market. I think they're excited by what Intel can bring to it. I think the Intel graphics team, whether it's Raja or Jim or Amy or Ari, everybody's very involved on social. So I think these are the folks that are leading the charge, are people that the community is coming to know at a personal level, right? Either through social media or through events like the Odyssey meetup. So I think it's kind of interesting when the friends people are kind of going on this Odyssey to go and build something interesting and bringing some exciting depth to the market. I think that's what's been driving a lot of our engagement. So I think that's what we're seeing.
I was going to ask as well. Obviously, this has been such a community event, and that's something that has been self-evident throughout. Like even when you first announced Odyssey, before we actually knew what the event was going to look like. Amy Barton was telling me over breakfast earlier that it was kind of like as Bob got involved, the event started to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as he jumped on board. And I just wondered, what was it that made you want to get involved, get the community involved so much, and have them answer questions and tell you guys what you wanted out of a GPU? What was the thought process behind that?
Well, I think and this is something I think you heard Ari talk about in some interviews, and Murthy and Raja talk about, and I think Raja was a huge driving force behind it. And I think it's just that the mantra at Intel, and Raja referenced it last night, is customer obsession, right? And I think there was an opportunity here to get really more customer obsessed with the end user community, right? And I think that was a unique opportunity, and we looked across the industry and we saw, that's probably the biggest gap right now, right? Because not every processor company is going and doing that, and so I think it was a chance to, and I think there was a real thirst for that. And it wasn't just at the executive level; it wasn't a top-down push. Really, you could wander the halls in Folsom and talk to graphics engineers, and they would say, I'd like to meet some of the end users. I'd like to understand the use case scenarios better. I'd like to watch users interacting with my hardware and my software. I'd like to learn from that. So I think it was a combination really of, it was the right thing to do. There was clearly a need for it, but also there was just a real desire from the folks building the technology to really get that engagement and get that feedback.
You guys have also, of course, completely revamped the control panel for your graphics.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Lisa Pierce about that a little bit yesterday on the thought process of what you guys were trying to achieve. And during the keynote, if you want to call it that, which I wouldn't really consider it, to be honest.
The key.
Yeah, in the loosest possible sense. you guys went over some of the feature sets. For example, if you mouse over the control panel, you get a nice explanation of what a feature does. What was the thought process behind the control panel, and how did you decide on the features? And also, just as importantly, how can the community kind of help you shape that?
Yeah, well, I think before you can be a successful hardware company, like at least through the lens of discrete GPU, I think you have to have the right software foundation in place. So that's really does come first, and you have to be patient and take the time to get that right. Mm-hmm. I think we knew we wanted a nice, clean interface. We wanted sort of to be snappier and simpler. We wanted to have really high quality video, so that as you were looking to tune features, image enhancement and things like that, you had some really nice real-time video that would kind of give you the really a clear sort of real-time glance as to how you were impacting your visual experience. So that was part of it. I think the other one was just, we're getting a lot of questions kind of through social saying, I don't really understand a lot of this stuff. I'm a little overwhelmed, but what's anisotropic filtering, and what does VSync really do, and how's that different than adaptive sync? And so I think there was an opportunity to make it really educational, so that you could say to people, yeah, you know what, one click is cool and makes it really simple for you. But if you want to sort of go into the realm of customized controls and image tweaking and having more control over your visual experience, we'll draw you in to make it really easy for you and provide that education. So I think those are the things we're after.
It was also very smart. Excuse me. It was also very smart. Got that one. It was also very smart for you to really embrace adaptive sync. What was the driving force behind that? I mean, was it just the logical thing to do for you in terms of, well, hey, AMD are doing this, and it's obviously going to put a lot of pressure on NVIDIA, or was it just something else that you've been wanting to do for a long time on the roadmap? Or
so I think our chief graphics architect, David Blythe, I think he annoued, keep me honest here, I think it was in 2015, he did an interview with Tech Report, I think, and he said that he said that we were going to support adaptive sync. I mean, it's the right thing to do. It's a VESA open standard, mm-hmm. right? So I think because Generation 11 sort of came a little bit later. This was kind of when we were bringing it out. It was something that we committed to do for some period of time, and the technology, I think, is obviously it's great technology. We're very happy that it's an open standard, right? And I think that we wanted to go and do this, but do it in a way that wasn't going to be proprietary. That was going to take advantage of the fact that, look, you can buy an adaptive sync monitor for a little over $100. Why wouldn't you want to enable that and give a bigger install base a chance to get that benefit?
Okay. What is it that drives yourself to have moved to Intel, if you don't mind me asking? And also, what is it that you're passionate about?
Well, I think it's really exciting, to be building the first discrete graphics brand the first new discrete graphics brand in almost 20 years, mm-hmm. right? So I think that's an exciting challenge in and of itself. I think it's I echo comments that Raj has made saying, I've never fought a downhill battle, right? I think it's exciting to come in and say we're gonna go and be the first new entrant in 25 years to the discrete graphics business. I think it's a very interesting challenge, and I think it's really interesting to do it with the portfolio that Intel has, right? Not just at the graphics level, but graphics processor level, but looking at the whole visual computing platform, right? I think you're trying to bring a great solution to market with great software, and Intel's got all those pieces to do something really exciting, and that's what we're here to do. So for me, it was an easy choice. It was really exciting to come here, and you look at the talent that's coming to Intel around visual computing too. You got Jim Keller, you got Raja, and then you've got Tom Forsyth and Ari Rausch and his team, and it's just this, it's an incredible group of talented individuals to work with. I think the graphics industry also is never boring. We were thinking about what to call the Odyssey. An Odyssey is this long journey, and it's got all these chapters in it, and there's ups and there's downs, but it's never boring. An Odyssey is never boring, and I think that's the way the graphics computing industry has always been, right? So I think if you like excitement and you like change and you just like waking up every day knowing that this day is not going to be like any other day you've ever had, and that's always the way it is in the graphics industry. It's always interesting. So for me, this was a really easy career to get into. I had a lot of fun with it, And this new chapter of it here at Intel is so far been really exciting.
So what's it been like since the early days when you joined Intel? How's the conversation kind of evolved in terms of the graphics side of the equation, and how has the perception changed within the company for discrete graphics?
How's the conversation changed? Well, let's see. Obviously, it's new for us. I mean, obviously, it's brand new. It's exciting. I think there's a lot of interest in it right now. I think it's the new shiny object. And that's been a lot of fun, right? It's nice to, working at a company that's as big as Intel and having so many people, call you up every day saying, hey, how can I get involved in some of this? How can I help? How can I be involved in it? The Odyssey event last night was really a cast of thousands putting that together, from engineer volunteers to we had busloads of people coming down from Folsom and Santa Clara to help. So I think just seeing, I think it's exciting for Intel right now to be becoming a discrete graphics company, and just seeing everybody embrace it and wanting to help and be part of it and support the effort. I think it's been really, really gratifying.
It's been a really interesting experience. I wasn't expecting the Odyssey to be like that. I expected it to be a lot more, how can I put this in succinctly, formal.
Yeah.
I expected it to be a lot more dry, a lot more, because I went in without wanting expectations one way or another, but I guess doing that I also kind of went in with expectations. So I didn't want to ask Amy or any of the team, hey, what are you guys planning for this event? Because I don't think it's good to kind of colour your vision.
Yeah. I think that was, going back to what I said earlier. I mean, everybody, I think, put a real effort into just sort of being themselves and having an event that would be a lot of fun and let our hair down a little bit and really engage with the community in the right way. This is why, and it was hard. It's always hard to get that right, but I think because it's where you get it right is just by forgetting that you're on a stage and presenting to 1,000 people and you're just up there having fun, right?
And endangering them with t-shirts.
It's all the minute the t-shirt guns get picked up, that you just know at that point it's going to be informal. We should start really every community event with all of our t-shirt guns loaded for bear, and then it's going to be a lot of fun. But I mean, there's also things like the hot wings. I don't know if you tried those.
I was going to line up for them, but the queue was so big. I thought, I'm tapping. Too many other people are trying to talk to me anyway.
Yeah.
So I was tempted.
Yeah. So I mean, there were a lot of elements in there. The ViewMaster and the kit. I think there was a lot of free spiritedness that had to come through. And you always wonder how that's going to work, whether it's going to work out the right way or the wrong way. But I think I felt like we got it right. And I think there's a lot more that we can do to kind of make it even better for next time. So I think it was funny last night. A bunch of us were kind of having a debrief, and it's all kind of like, this is really cool. Now that it's sort of, what do you do to take it to the next level kind of thing, and what are you going to do next time, and how are you going to make it even better? So I think we're trying to get this sort of spirit of continuous improvement.
How can viewers, the audience, they are the ones who are going to be impacted by the decisions that are made over the next couple of years, how can they help you produce the best products possible?
Well, so join the Odyssey. So that's gameplay.intel.com/Odyssey, and sign up there. And what we'll do is we'll keep you in the loop. So when we're doing a meetup in your area, we'll let you know. We'll keep you apprised with our newsletter of all the news that's going on. We're going to be doing regular online engagements too, like the Ask You Anything on Reddit, where we come and ask the community questions, and then sort of infuse the feedback back into the engineering process. So that's one way. I think also follow us on Twitter at Intel Graphics. We put a lot of effort into that. A lot of our marketing effort goes into our Twitter channel to do it right, to make it interesting and engaging for people. We have a great community there of really interesting people. So we like to think it's different. We like to think it's a little less corporate and a little more fun, and also informative and useful, and some good content there. So I hope I think that's a great way to keep in the know on what's going on at Intel Graphics.
Okay. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah, you too.